real estate agent? Are you looking to acquire clients consistently so you can grow your business and your income to live a great lifestyle? This is Dave Finale and the RE Skill Builder Podcast.
Hello, everybody. It is Friday. It is September 24th, 2021. And yes, we are an hour earlier to accommodate schedules, etc. And this is Real Estate Talk TGIF 172. I want to welcome a friend of mine from years. We haven't figured out how we met, but it doesn't matter. Travis Plumb. Travis is a digital marketer turned real estate agent. And you've done some freaking amazing things for any agent to look at in 6.5 months. Almost $30 million in production, close to $900,000 in commissions. That's just unheard of for any new agent. So before you tell us all about that, I got a question for you. Question is, what does TGIF stand for?
Thank goodness it's Friday.
You are so close, man, but you are, I'm sorry, wrong. You haven't spent a lot of time watching my shows, I can tell. So now you're going to have to bone up on it. Thank God it's Finale. Dave Finale. Name. There we go. That's how we start. That's it. So, man, thanks so much for being on the broadcast today. As I said, it's 172. It's 169 weeks in a row. And we keep going and chugging along. Continual great guests, including yourself. Again, another one of the greats. Hey, man, talk to me about your journey. Where did you start? What got you into what you're doing now? But there's a long path, I understand, to it.
Yeah, Dave, hey, I just want to say thank you, man, for having me on the show this morning, man. It is a tremendous honor to be here and to be able to provide value to other agents and people that are watching this show. Obviously what we've done here with YouTube, it's absolutely changed my life. It's changed my family's life, and it's changed my business partner's life. So, I am very excited to be here and share all this information with you today. So thank you for having me, man. Yeah, so it's basically obviously there's a lot to unpack here with my story. I started, I got out of the military back in 2010, and I got into sales. I actually got into the car business, and that's kind of where I got my feet wet in the sales industry. And the car business is obviously very it's rough. There's a lot. People back in the day, like in 2010 and 2011, people would like fist fight for deals. You know what I'm saying? So I learned all of my salesmanship back in the car business. And no, I wasn't actually one of those people that was out there fist fighting. I'm not going to fight someone for $200, right? So I got out of the military in 2010, and I got into sales almost immediately after I got out of the military. And I was a top producer there. I worked on the used car side for a while, did very, very well. Then I got moved over to the new car side. I got moved up into management, where I would walk around and close all the deals for all the clients, for all of our salespeople that couldn't necessarily close those deals by themselves. So I would take turns on every single one of them. Very shortly after that, about 3 years into my car business career, I had gotten into finance, and I, set pretty much every single record there. But, I was working 7 days a week, and I really just, in the car business, you can't take time off. You can't take vacations. You really can't do anything. So I was working from, 7 o'clock at night to about midnight, Monday through Saturday. And then I would actually have to go back in on Sundays, and I would have to cap deals. So long story short, that just wasn't really working out very well for me. I wanted to live my life a little bit more. So, I went and I decided to get out of the car business. I was making great money at the time, and I was like, you know what, I have enough money saved up. I want to kind of go out here, and I want to learn how to make money online. I'd seen a couple of my really good friends making money online, which is how I got into internet marketing. I've worked with some of the top internet marketers in the entire world. I've hired several coaches to help me with marketing, and that's how I got into it. I've been in the real estate space doing marketing for the last 4 or 5 years. And, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on advertising on Facebook and Instagram and just Google and just everything. So I worked in the real estate space. So I really know what it takes to convert leads on Facebook and Instagram and Google and all that stuff. And then long story short, last September, I was just kind of getting tired of doing the marketing thing and charging so much money, because it's it takes a lot of work, right? And so in the real estate space, it's also very hard to have success because there's a lot of factors that play into being a successful real estate agent doing marketing. So I would help people launch their Facebook ads and Instagram and Google. And so, I was charging $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 a month to help people. And, for new real estate agents, they can't really afford that. You know what I mean? It was very, very expensive to someone to be able to float, $2,500 a month or $1,500 a month if I made them a deal for 6, 7, 8 months, because that's what it took to typically get conversions on Facebook and Instagram. Those conversions are about 6 to 9 months, and they convert at a very, very small percentage. So, long story short, I wanted to get out of the marketing, and, I was having a lot of real estate agents struggling to have success with that. So I was like, you know what? Instead of actually going out here and charging people, I'm going to get my real estate license, and I want to, join into EXP so I could just, instead of charging people, give it to them for free. And I was very, very curious to see, hey, was it, my marketing that was, the problem, why it was taking 6 or 5 or 6, 7 months to get, conversions and people coming through the door on a consistent? Or was it actually, the platform? Was it actually Facebook? Was it the quality and the type of client that was coming through Facebook? So I wanted to get my real estate license. I wanted to build my team, and I wanted to provide value for people, and also wanted to figure out, how do I get conversions? You know what I'm saying? Like, it really, like, what does it take to be able to get business through the door? So I got licensed. I got licensed last December. And, me and my business partner, we had several conversations about, what are we going to do, right? Like, are we going to do cold calling? Are we going to door knock? Are we going to run Facebook advertising and all that good stuff to be able to generate leads? And, we did a lot of research. We did 2-3 months worth of research. And my business partner, Levi Lassick, I mean, this guy is a YouTube genius. And we worked and collaborated together for several months to figure out, hey, what's the best course of action here? And long story short, we decided that we were going to go all in on YouTube. We read several books. We looked at, what are the top producers doing? Where are they generating their business from? Where are they getting that from? Because we really did not want to come into here and do the typical stuff, which is cold calling, door knocking, spending a ton of money on advertising or postcards, and just all that other stuff that's very, very old school. And, that's a lot of cold outreach. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to figure out a way that we could attract the right buyer to want to work with us, to basically work themselves through the funnel, instead of us having to, build 20 different retargeting campaigns on Facebook to be able to get people comfortable with us. So we decided that YouTube was going to be the way to do that. And, here we are, today. Our first deal went under contract March the 1st. And now we just are under $30 million in production. We're at like 29,888,450. So we're like $112,000 short of breaking that $30 million we And I actually have 5 clients in town this weekend. Every single one of them are pre-approved. 3 of them should absolutely be here to buy right now. So we should hit that, break that $30 million mark, and we should get to 45 million by the end of the year.
So let's talk about you've got 5 people in this weekend. This is just, I want to just hone in on this one little thing, right? And 3 of them should be ready to buy. So when it comes to, Zillow leads and Opcity and all that stuff, as well as Facebook ads, and Facebook ads are different. I've been doing those for years and years and been very successful at them. But you're right. The conversion factor, number one, in my opinion, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it does take a special person to understand how to handle them, because they are a little different than Zillow buy now leads, right? So with YouTube and what you've done with video, you've got 5 people coming in this weekend and 3 are going to be ready to go. What's the conversion process? I know they're seeing your videos. So let's just talk about that, the conversion process for you when you start doing that. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really great question, and something I really want to try to be very, very clear about. Okay. In my marketing business, when I was running Facebook advertising for people, we would have 10, 20 different campaigns. So there's a major difference in interruptive marketing, you know what I'm saying, which is Facebook, and then someone that's intent based like Google and YouTube. It's a huge difference. Usually people who are on Facebook, they're just there to kill time, right? And one of the main factors that we decided to go with YouTube was we wanted to think about, where are people looking to buy real estate, or where are they looking to sell real estate? Are they actually going to Facebook and Instagram to buy real estate? Are they going to LinkedIn to buy real estate? No, they're really not. People are in line at Chick-fil-A, or they're on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very interruptive. So that's why you have to have so many retargeting campaigns on Facebook. And I'll get to the difference on YouTube. Facebook, I would have several retargeting. I would have text message follow-up. I would have email follow-up. I had an entire call center that was even calling and helping convert leads into appointments for those realtors. There is a lot of work. And those leads convert at 1% to 3%. And you got to do everything. I mean, you got to call them, you got to text them, you got to email them, you got to hit them with retargeting campaigns. So every single month, you're having to spend money to put your content out there to keep it in front. And if you stop paying for ads, what happens to all of your stuff? It's gone. It disappears. All of your stories on Instagram, they're only there for 24 hours. And everything on Facebook, if you're running ads and you stop, it's gone. So you have to always, always, always spend money over and over and over again to get people to see who you are, to get comfortable with you. And you have to basically force them down a funnel. You may have some clickbait on your front ad that just says, hey, you got this kind of a home. Are you in the market to buy a home, for under 450,000? Click now to get an exclusive list of homes. The same stuff that everybody's doing. Click here to get an exclusive list of homes that are fitting your exact criteria, right? But then you would have to have a retargeting campaign, because the quality of lead that comes in at the top of a funnel on Facebook is, I would say, poor, especially now that I've seen what YouTube can do. It's very, very poor. Then you have to get them into, a couple different videos and maybe some client testimonials to say how awesome you are, blah, 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 to work them through that funnel. And then when you get them through, 5 or 6, 7, 8, retargeting campaigns, now they know who you are. Now they're familiar with you. Where the difference on YouTube is, these people, when they go to Google and type in living in Dallas, right, or just Forney, Texas, or Frisco, Texas, what happens is, if you go to, like, anyone who's watching this right now, you can go to Google and type in Forney, Texas, and we own, when Google pops up, it has Forney, Texas, but it has YouTube videos, right? We own those top 5. It will always show you about 5 YouTube videos when you type in that search, and we own those top 5. So what do? They click on one of our videos. In our videos, and we should talk about the structure of the videos and all this stuff as well. We have very specific, calls to action in that video to get people to call us, text us, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom call. YouTube is by far, I've done this for a long time, it is the best retargeting campaign you could ever, ever, ever possibly have. Because when they subscribe and tap that bell for notifications, if you're consistently putting out content, they are going to see your videos over and over and over again until they feel comfortable, right? I have a client that is in town right now. He actually just bought from me for about $780,000. He got a short-term rental. He said he's been watching our videos for 6 or 7 months, and he got his own short-term rental. He came here, lived there for about 6 or 7 months. And he said, the moment I saw your video, Travis and Levi, I knew that you guys were the ones that we wanted to work with, but I didn't want to waste your time. So I just never reached out until I was ready to buy. He reached out to me like a month ago, and he's already bought, he's already done, everything's closed, everything's funded. So the conversion on our YouTube is about 14 to 16%. Extremely high.
14 to 16%.
Conversion.
Let's let everybody to compare that to what typically throughout the last 20 years, since internet leads have been out there, everybody's talked about between 1 and 4, 1 and 3, now under 1% for a lot of different types of leads, correct?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So what did you say? 14%? What was it?
14%. Yep. And it's not only that the conversion rate is so high, I could get the stats, but everyone and our client is just completely different. All of our clients have great credit. I don't think I've had a single deal come through with someone, I guess maybe there's been like 3 or 4 people come through that had challenging credit. But other than that, they have great money. Why? Because they're moving from California, they're moving from New York, they're moving from all these places. They're getting job transfers and bonuses on there. So they actually have a ton of cash. They're coming here with great credit and they're ready to buy now. Also, not only do they convert at 14% to become buyers, the conversion cycle is extremely, extremely short, under 30 days. We have had people call us while they're in town. I've closed people in 12 hours. We had a client that came in, they hit us up at 11 o'clock at night. They said that they were in town to buy a house. They were working with the realtor, and the realtor just didn't take them seriously, didn't help them. I took them out to some new construction properties that I knew were going to fit their criteria. We met at 9 o'clock. They contracted at 11 o'clock in the morning, and they bought a house right then and there. So people are coming here because they're getting job transfers. I can't stress to you how important and how different the clientele is. And our strategy behind this was, do we want to work with people locally, right? No, we really don't. We want to work with relocation people because they're getting job transfers. They can, there's so many people that are able to work remotely now that these people are having to move quick. I mean, I'm telling you, everyone that we're working with is like 60, 90 days. We get them to come in town, we get them pre-approved, and we can talk about the system and process in which we do that as well. We get them pre-approved, they come in town, and they're ready. They're here. They're ready to buy. They have to. They have work here. They're relocating. They can work, remotely. So the type of client is just far better because local people, like if I go and talk to like my mom, my mom, I mean, obviously she would buy a house for me, right? Because it's my mom, but she already knows 10 other real estate agents. If you're working with people locally, they already know 5, 10 other real estate agents. So you do have a lot of competition. And you know what else really sucks about working with people locally? They're not in a rush. They will take you around and you'll look at 40, 50, 60, 70 homes sometimes, especially in a really competitive market. If you don't know how to negotiate on the back end, they'll just take up, they're just time suckers. So what happens when people are relocating? They're only here 2 or 3 days and they're here to make a decision. So instead of spending 30 days or 60 days trying to find a home because there's just no rush and there's all this competition because they all know all these other realtors, they come in here and they're ready to buy. The type of client coming from our YouTube channel is second to none. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life, or at least in the last 12 years since I've been in sales.
So let me ask you this question. You're talking about bringing in people that are transferring into the area. You're talking about working with buyers. What is the percentage of buyers to sellers that you're working with, and how is YouTube going to, like, there's a lot of people out there that want to work with sellers. A lot of people don't want to work with buyers. Talk to me about that and the difference between, is there any difference between what you're doing and what the video is, et cetera?
No, we wanted to attract buyers, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we wanted to work with relocation. And so we understood through just months and months of studying, and like Levi, he dug in really, really deep. And I would never be able to do this without him, right? Because Levi is a content creating machine. I've never seen anything like it. And one of the most important success factors in YouTube is your consistency and being able to, not be jumping around.
100%.
Right?
Absolutely.
100%. And so if you look at our channel in Dallas, we are the fastest growing real estate channel, period. That's it. On every single metric that there is. We've only done this for maybe not even a year. December 5th was the first day that we launched that video. And so we have almost 5,000 subscribers. And our goal was never to get a lot of subscribers or a lot of views. Our goal was to get the phone to ring. Quality, 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 right? It doesn't matter. Like, you can go and buy 100,000 followers on Instagram. You can buy subscribers. Like, the number of subscribers is it could be fluff. Like, it doesn't matter. Well, the only thing that matters are results. The only thing that matters are conversions and how much money am I making. So, our goal wasn't necessarily to come out here and get a bunch of subscribers. It was just to get our phone to ring. And that's exactly what we've done. And we're the fastest growing real estate channel in Dallas. And that's, played a huge factor in why we were having so much success so quickly.
So, all right. So that's working. We're talking about different stuff, and everybody's going to say, well, all right, well, you know what you're doing. You're a digital marketer. You know how to do all this stuff. You've done it before. And now you get into real estate. It's like you're cheating, right?
I love it.
But here's the thing that I know about you is that you've been freaking working your ass off for years and never stopping. I mean, you've worked with some of the greats. You've worked with, let's name drop, Ryan Stewman. You've worked with Michael Reese and those guys. I mean,
yep.
Right? So
yeah. I mean, Michael Reese, Marshall Silver, Billy Jean. I mean, I've worked with a ton of people. I mean, I joined a mastermind that cost me $100,000 for 1 year, so yes, but I do have that, but I chose to go that path. You can never quit, right? Consistency is the key to success, right? And it's about never quitting. I've had many hard times. I've had business partners embezzle money. I've lost everything just a few years ago. I lost my boat. I lost my truck. I had to move out of a house, that I was living in Frisco to a 1,200 square foot apartment, but I never quit and I never gave up. And I always had faith that if I just keep going, if I keep hiring coaches, as long as you take action. I mean, you can hire the best coaches in the world, but if you don't do anything with it, it'll never work. But I just kept going. And, people may say, well, Travis, hey, you've done all this stuff. And that's kind of like cheating, right? Because you have all this experience in marketing. What was the one platform I never said that I touched? YouTube. That's right. So we had to learn YouTube from scratch. I am talking about me and Levi were pulling 15-hour days. We were up in meetings with each other till midnight, talking about strategy. What type of videos are we going to do? Levi is the YouTube king, right? Like I do all the sales. I handle all the front end, the clients, everything, getting these deals closed while he's out there studying YouTube constantly on a daily basis, putting out film. I mean, he was just recording yesterday. We have like 140 videos already published on the channel or something like that. And we've done that in less than a year. So we're just going to outwork the competition. They're like, we've seen people that were posting on YouTube all the time, and now they've pretty much stopped because they can't keep up. Why? Because we have a very dynamic partnership. He can just singularly focus on content and I can go out here and handle all the real estate. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that at first because it was kind of slow, right, at the beginning. So we could work together on a lot of stuff. But now we're so busy. There's no way without having a couple of people working with me that I would be able to do this and have Levi putting out the content and all that good stuff. So, yes, we spent a lot of time studying this and making sure that we knew this was the right platform.
So you're consistent, you're persistent, you're aggressive, and you work your ass off. All right. So I just want to look at the word consistent, right? And that is the biggest thing. And we put a lot of time in talking about Facebook and how, and if correct me if I'm wrong, Facebook is more or less interruptive marketing, right? It's basically 100%. Interruptive marketing, and YouTube is intent based. So I just want to talk about the Facebook thing really quickly, right? So Facebook marketing, Facebook posting is not only something that's interruptive, but you also, there's a couple ways to go. One is paid, of course. The other is organic. Right. Organic is something that it's a strategy as well. And sure. It's just you're not just taking it out of the air and just posting shit from time to time. It's a consistency that is required as well. And a lot of people there are some people that do very, very well with it when they intermingle their stories, their Instagram page, et cetera, et cetera. The miss is that they forget to retarget, they forget to remarket. And then when that comes into batch, they like throw up their hands and say, holy shit, I got to do that too. Right. Yep. And that's part of the problem. And as I mentioned earlier, it's also a different type of conversion where, the buyer we'll get to intent based in a second, but when it's interruptive, they're interested, right? They're interested. It's like bacon and eggs. They're more like the eggs with the chicken lays the eggs where they're interested, where the bacon, the pig's committed, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So when we're talking about that, it's got to be consistent. And there's, I don't believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you know better than I do. I don't think anybody ever got up on a Saturday morning and said, I'm going to Facebook to find a house. I just don't think that happens. But I also firmly believe in the coaching I do and everything I do, that being on social media is extremely important. Consistency is extremely important. And when you're working with people from a social media channel such as Facebook or Instagram, I believe it's more micro commitment based than I want to buy it now based than what YouTube is, where, you know, they're going in and they're more than interested. They're actually going to look for stuff.
Exactly.
When they find you. So would I be correct in assuming that while on YouTube you may have niched yourself down? What are you niching yourself down to? People that are actually searching for you than people that are not searching for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You're right on track. Okay. And I want to say something about organic. Right. You have on our YouTube channel, everything was organic.
Right.
We generated $30 million in business in 6.5 months. We haven't spent a single dollar on advertising. Not a single dollar on advertising. And we've been able to build such great partnerships with mortgage companies and attorneys and all this other stuff. We've zero cost our editing. You know, our editing is only like a couple $1,000 a month when we're editing. I mean, we're editing, you know, short, YouTube shorts, the long form content. Now we're editing stuff to take clips from what we're doing on Instagram and Facebook. And that we're pushing other platforms, but we do not, and I repeat, do not share your YouTube channel outside. You don't want to mess up the organic strategy. You'll never see us say, hey, go check out our video on YouTube. You'll never see that.
So let me
That's
ask
what you call it now.
So let me ask you, I want to interrupt you right there. In other words, if you're posting something on Facebook or on Instagram, you're not going to say, go to my YouTube channel and check it out and hit the subscribe button. So basically what you're saying is that all of your YouTube videos, all of that work is specifically for that channel. That's it.
That's it. It's 100%. Google owns YouTube, right? So it is specifically optimized and built around search. That is the key to it, right? That's the most important thing. And this is what we teach all of our agents that work with us that get into our course, is how to build an organic strategy. And there's the thing about Facebook and Instagram is, like you said, you have to be, I'm not saying, look, I've done this for a long time. I know, and I'm not saying it doesn't work. There is a far better way to do this, and it's called YouTube. Every day on Facebook, if you want to be consistent, you got to post 3 times on Facebook. You got to post on Instagram. You got to post 10 or 15 stories on Instagram, and then you share those over into Facebook. And then you got to hit Twitter and tell Twitter to go check out your Instagram to follow you there for the video. Like, all that just always takes work. But as soon as you stop doing that, it's dead. Another 30 days, you may catch a little bit of traffic, organic traffic. I'm not talking about paid. With anything I'm talking about is just organic. You may catch a little bit of traffic there, but it dies. It dies after like a day or 2 or 3 days. So people are not, they forget about you, right? Unless they're being retargeted by an ad. The best thing about YouTube is it's evergreen. When you post a video on YouTube, the traffic increases. If I were to share my screen and show you back in analytics, this month alone, we've had 53,500 views. We've had over 6,000 hours of watch time. Do you realize how powerful that is? How many hours and hours and hours would you have to be on the phone cold calling people or posting on social media to get 6,000 hours of watch time in 30 days? It doesn't happen. So with YouTube, it does start off small at the beginning. Okay. It took us, we made 100K in our first 100 days, right? And executed contracts. We hadn't gotten paid at that time. So it took about 6 months from the time we started really studying YouTube to the time that we got our first commission. And dude, it has just blown up ever since then.
Okay. So let me play a little devil's advocate here. Okay. So you said earlier that you spent between $2,000 and $3,000 on editing a month. Mm-hmm. And you just said you spent so much time learning everything that you had to do. I'm a real estate agent doing 12 deals a month, and I really need to double and triple and quadruple my business. And I really believe YouTube's the way to go. But I ain't got $3,000 extra to spend a month on editing. I ain't got the money for equipment. I ain't got the time to learn all this stuff. Travis, help me out here.
That's great. I love that. So at the very beginning, and like, you can hire editors. You can do the editing yourself. We did the editing. We did the thumbnails, and the thumbnails are extremely important, by the way. Maybe make a note to talk about thumbnails and split testing.
Yes.
Thumbnails is very, very important to get those conversions, because you want good clickbait. But you want to know what we use for all of our videos?
Who's that?
The iPhone.
Okay. What about audio? What about audio? Because audio can suck on that too.
Absolutely. So there's a little microphone. It's like this big. All you got to do is you clip it in. It's right here. And I have it on here. This is the bigger one, right? But I have another one where you just clip it in. It's like $200 and it produces badass audio. And like, it's in my backpack. I have a selfie stick. All of our videos are us on a selfie stick. We're vlogging, right? We're just walking around, and our videos are completely different than the normal person. No one cares about looking at the inside of a home when they're living out of state, right? They want to know about the area. They want to know where the best places are to eat. Where are the parks? Where are the trails? Where are the lakes? So we vlog the neighborhoods. We show people this is what it's like in the $350,000 range. You know what I mean? So you get that piece, $200, $300. You already have an iPhone. That's all you need. Then you go on to Fiverr and you can get someone to edit for way cheaper. We have a person here in the States that edits our stuff. But I mentioned earlier, we zero cost all of our editing. We don't pay for that. Our mortgage partner, we told them if you find strategic partners that understand how YouTube really works, you got to have someone smart, for one, who gets YouTube and understands that that's the right platform. They cover our expense for the marketing as advertising, because we send them business, right? We send them.
This is your mortgage partners, et cetera, your affiliated resources.
Absolutely. So we get them. So there's no excuse. You can do this. I did this as a brand new real estate agent, right? I didn't go and just spend a ton of money on advertising. We wanted to specifically build this strategy around spending zero money on advertising. And so at the beginning, we only spent $500 on the editing, right? You know what I'm saying? So there is cost associated with editing if you don't want to do it. You can go onto your MacBook or whatever computer you have, and they have editing software. You can do your own thing. You can do your own thumbnails on Canva. You can do all this for free until you start making money, until you start doing deals.
So let's talk about thumbnails. You mentioned that a couple minutes ago. You wanted to get into it. Let's talk about the thumbnails. I will tell you this, is that my thumbnails suck. I mean, they're consistent on some other stuff, and I've tried to learn how to do them myself. And maybe I'm not creative. And what makes a good thumbnail, Travis?
You know, and that's the thing, is thumbnails are probably one of the most important, other than obviously SEO and optimization of videos to get it in front of the right people. If your thumbnail is flat, it's boring, then people are going to go somewhere else, right? You need to be very clear with your thumbnail and your messaging in that thumbnail to make sure that you get people's attention right off the bat. So you want to study, right? Study what the competition is doing. What do their thumbnails look like? What do their thumbnails say? What colors are in there? What's in the background? Really tearing apart these other people's that are having a lot of views, thumbnails on the colors and the design and just everything that's involved right there. You need a very clear picture. You don't want something that's pixelated or gray or dark or ugly. You need something that's very clear, very precise to get people to click. Now, everything, just like everything, you split test everything that you do, right? If you're doing marketing, you want to split test things, right? So that's another thing, is like Levi, he'll design one thumbnail, and then our editor, now obviously we're into this quite deep now, but she'll design one, and then we'll let his run, let hers run, and see which one has better conversions. And YouTube lets you know really quickly within like a day which one's converting better, and then we just let the one that converts better stay, right? So the thumbnail is a very, very, very important piece of the puzzle.
All right, so the creativity part, right? So I'm really good with landscaping and flowers, and I'm really good with that, right? The creativity, copywriting, I'm getting much better at. There's some apps out there that will help you, but the artwork of the creativity of what it should look like, I can keep asking this question and get the same answer. So it's like I'm asking the same question, looking for a different answer. The halo around you, that makes it stand out. And does it have to be goofy or can it be serious?
It could be serious. I mean, this is what I suggest you do as well. Like, especially if you're working with zero to little budget, right? Like, you can go on Fiverr and you can send off like to multiple people and get multiple people creating your thumbnails and split test those. You don't have to do it. You know what I mean?
You don't have to give them an idea of what you want. They'll know what to do and how to make it look.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Okay. So or
just get good at Canva.
What's that?
Or if you get really good at Canva, like Levi is really good. I mean, you can put an image up there, he can and he gets the thumbnails done and he can get them done really, really quickly, right? So obviously that took a little bit of time, but Canva is so easy. So when you're researching and you're looking around, it doesn't have to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the thumbnails on our Living in Dallas channel, I mean, they're pretty basic, but they pop.
Right, exactly. So, all right. So, so we talked about thumbnails. Now let's just go a little bit into the video itself. But the videos, are you thinking about SEO when you're doing the video? Are you thinking about it, or is it going to be important to be in the title and the description?
Right. It definitely needs to be in the description. Right. And then, like, we have a blog that we have on our website. But the thing about YouTube is they don't want you to leave the platform. So one of the biggest mistakes that we see are people that have all these links. Look at this, or look at this, or look at this. They're making people leave YouTube. So that tanks their videos, that tanks all of their analytics. It shows shorter watch time because they see these links. So we have blogs on our website, but we also, this is a little nugget. We put short blogs in the description. Why? SEO. So everything is all based on SEO, search engine optimization. So in the blog, on the description, if we're targeting people who are looking at Frisco, we have Frisco in there 3 times. This is what it looks like living in Frisco, and blah, 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 Frisco, and blah, 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 Frisco. We do a lot of research around what people are searching, and then we place those words in the description. So that helps people find that video.
So in a YouTube description, what I've seen is a lot of people putting in all their contact information, their Instagram link, their Facebook link, et cetera, et cetera. You're saying don't do that.
Oh, no, I would highly suggest you don't do that. Why would you want someone to leave the platform? YouTube will punish you if they leave the platform. They want people to stay on, and YouTube recommends other videos, right? You want to be recommended. So, like, if you're watching a video, now you do need to have your contact information, but that doesn't need to be like right at the top. You tell people in your videos. So, you don't want people to leave YouTube. So if you have Instagram and YouTube and they leave, you're not going to get people in your cycle. They're not going to be able to watch 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 videos, like binge watching you. Our clients, when they call us, we have a lot of Zoom calls, and we wanted to document and record everything, because when these people hop on, they're like, oh my God, Travis, Levi, I can't believe it's actually you. I was totally not expecting someone. So their guard is already down. They already know that we're the right people to work with. So why would you want to have them leave YouTube? You want to leave them on YouTube. Now, with the videos, you want to have call to action, right? And you only have about 6 seconds to capture someone's attention on YouTube. You got to get them right off the bat. How do you do that? You're probably asking, hey, how do I get someone's attention right off the bat? So on our videos, like we do several different kinds of videos. But right off at the very beginning, we're like, hey, so you're thinking about moving to Frisco, Texas? Well, you're going to want to make sure that you stick around, because in this video, we're going to take you around. We're going to show you some of the top neighborhoods, the exact neighborhoods that you're going to want to live in with your family. And if this is exactly what you're looking for, well, make sure you stick around to the very end, and we're going to get after it right now. That 6 seconds is, hey, are you thinking about moving to Frisco, Texas? If someone is like watching this and they're like, yeah, actually I am thinking about moving to Frisco, Texas, they're going to watch. Shortening that very, very beginning, that hook, is going to be very important. You have a hook, which is, hey, are you moving to Frisco? That's like 10, 15, 20 seconds tops, very short. Then you go into the intro. Hey, what's up, everybody? Give them a call to action. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Dallas, Texas, well, make sure you click that subscribe button and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market here in Frisco.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question here. we talked about earlier. I'm going to wrap something together, see if it works, see if it makes sense. So you talked about not using, not putting the call to action of subscribing and hitting the bell on other platforms like Facebook, right?
Right.
So okay, so suppose you want to cut your time up and be able to batch content and to build content that you can use everywhere. The question is, can you take that hook, you introduce yourself, and then you go, and then it cuts into an intro which talks about YouTube, and then it goes back to the video. Can you put a clip inside right after the hook to talk about subscribing and stuff, so you can use the same video other locations?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that bad?
No, you don't want to necessarily put things and drive traffic to YouTube, but you can still take YouTube content and clips and do that everywhere else, because you have the raw footage. You know what I'm saying? So you're not taking a YouTube video and sharing it, which, you can still do that. It probably won't get as much traction, but you have that raw footage already. So you just take your raw footage and you edit that and cut it up for Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn and all TikTok, whatever it is that you're into. You can then take that, because we take a lot of our YouTube content and we chop it up and we're using it for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, all these other different platforms. So yeah, you have that raw footage. You would just want to put it together and piece it together different for each one of the platforms. You know what I mean?
So I want to go the other way. Like if I do a lot of live videos, right? So if I really like how it comes out, I want to put it everywhere. One way or the other, I might want to put it everywhere, right? I used to do that. I've changed a little bit to how I do it. But if I've got a really good video, like I think I really did a good one this week, and I'm going to be using it for something else, can I take that video and to repurpose it to my YouTube channel, add an intro after the hook that tells everybody what to do on YouTube and an outro? Does that make sense to do, or just don't do it? Either do it in the beginning, cut it out for Facebook.
Well, what I would say is like, hey, if you're going to go live, just go live on YouTube. Then that video is already there. You know what I mean? And then take that content and chop it up and put it everywhere else. That's what I would suggest doing. You know what I'm saying? And every strategy is going to be different. We don't want to mess up our organic strategy with the clients and buyers that are coming in from out of state. We don't want to mess that up. So we are not going to share our YouTube channel outside of itself for the Dallas thing, for our Living in Dallas channel. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Because if you have a good organic strategy, the right people are going to find you there. They're going to automatically find you there by going into Google and searching. So the last thing you want to do is mess that up by sharing it to someone. Or like, let's just say you go on Instagram and you make a story and you have a swipe up. Oh, well, check out my YouTube video, and they swipe up, but they're not trying to buy a house. So they get onto YouTube and they watch 2 seconds of your videos. That looks bad, right? So that's not the right ideal audience. So if you want to share your content, just go live on YouTube, record it, and then chop it up and spread it everywhere else.
All right, I get that. So we've talked about live. Talk to me about the advantage and or disadvantage of going live on YouTube. So when you go live on Facebook, since people are there all the time, you pop up, you can be there, people will see what you're doing. How does the live portion for YouTube work? I know this is a really basic question, and it may even sound like a dumb question to most people who know YouTube, but the question is, why live on YouTube?
It's just like any other platform. You build an audience. If that's where you're going to build your audience, and you get your subscribers. They want that, they need that, and they're looking for that. And it's all about consistency as well. So if you're a coach, right? Because we don't go live for our buyers. Like on that channel, we don't go live, but other coaches, they're going to say, hey, every single Wednesday, we're going to go live. So, when you get people to your channel and you have your channel art, which is also very important, and we maybe want to touch base about channel art. If you look on our channel, we have the United States. And where do most of our clients come from? They come from New York, they come from California, Chicago, and a couple other places. So on our channel art, and it says exactly what you're going to get. And it has a picture of the United States, and it has all these arrows with people driving and flying into Texas. So it's also subliminal, right? People are like, oh, I'm in California. I'm moving to Texas. Okay, this is the right channel for me. So it's the same thing on your channel art. You can have, we're live every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, right? So having a consistency there and a platform to be able to reach your audience, and it may not be on YouTube, it may be Facebook, and that's for the individual to decide where do they want to start growing their subscribers, or where do they want to start growing their followers. So on YouTube, it's just as everything else. You just click live. That's the thing. Just click live and go.
So talk to me about channel art.
So channel art it's very important to have a very clear call to action, right? Like on our with our real estate team, and what we do there is like, hey, learn how we made 100K in 100 days, absolutely free, without cold calling, door knocking, or spending any money on advertising, right? That is in our channel art. That is because if realtors find us on YouTube, they see that channel art, they're like, okay, great, this is exactly what I want to do. We don't want people finding the channel who don't want to be on YouTube. We want to help people generate business on YouTube because it's the best platform. You can have the best clients. And another really good thing about YouTube is everyone that we work with is just like us, right? They're just like me and Levi. So they're not people that we don't want to work with. We really have a great relationship with all of our clients because like I have a saying, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? So everyone who's watching our channel, they're going to vibe with us. Everyone who watches yours, they vibe with you. So there really is no competition. There's so many eyeballs. And like, if you're thinking that right now is not a good time to get on YouTube, you're seriously mistaken, because over the next 10 years, it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better. But the best thing is you're going to have the best clients. So having that being said, have your channel art built out to target and be very clear on your message and what your channel is all about.
Okay. So we've talked about your business, how you built it, you and Levi. We talked about calls to actions. We talked about thumbnails. Talked about channel art. We talked a little bit about SEO. We also talked about live on YouTube. So here's a question for you. So you've got different channels, right? You've got the Living in Dallas channel. You've got other channels. Are they under one account? Do you have separate accounts? How many channels is good? How many channels is bad? Is it okay to have many channels because of the different point? Like if you've got different areas that you're niching down to. If you want to go after luxury, and that's really cool, but you have a channel for probate or whatever, just throwing it out of the top of my head. Talk to me about that.
You would want to have a different channel for what you're doing, right? So we have a YouTube Shorts channel, right? That we just launched YouTube Short channel like probably 3 or 4 days ago, because YouTube Shorts are short form content that we go around and we look at restaurants, like short stuff, right? Then we say, hey, look, if you want more information, we drive traffic from YouTube to our Living in Dallas long form content. So we have Living in Dallas, which is our long form content. We have the Shorts channel, which is going to be the shorts information. And we're about to launch a luxury channel in Dallas called Luxury Living in Dallas, Texas. That's going to be different. You need to be very clear for your audience. Like if you're talking about probates, and then you're talking about short sales, and you're talking about luxury living, and you're talking about coaching, and you have 6 or 7 different things on your YouTube, how can YouTube sort out who the perfect client is? And then they come to your channel and there's just a bunch of mess and disorganization. They're not going to be, they're going to leave. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to want to stick around because it's too hard to navigate your channel. You know what I mean? So everything that we do is very organized. Like right now, Netflix, they're very big on thumbnails as well, but people binge Netflix. They watch episode after episode after episode. So what we're doing now is, at the beginning, we did about 5 videos per city. We would do a map video where we showed people on Google Maps where everything is. We would do a pros and cons, right? We would do a cost of living. We would do a vlog, etc. So we did those 5 videos. And then we started doing like a Netflix thing. We had this idea that Netflix, right? So now we're saying, hey, what does 400,000 get you in Prosper? What is 500,000? What is 600,000? What is 700,000? What does $1 million get you? right? So we're people, like, we just did Frisco, like basically 400 to 1 million, and those videos are taking off like crazy. We're getting thousands of views on those videos very, very quickly. So the organization is very important. So yes, you can have several different channels within your account.
Okay, great. So I get that. Like, okay, so it's time for me to ask you a coaching question. So what I'm doing now is I'm asking people every week, I'm saying, okay, here's a problem I got. How do you help me? Like last week we had Coach Kyle Draper, social media coach, who's a great guy. He helped me do something. So I've changed something over the week because of what Kyle said. So let's see if I give you the same question. I just talked to you about channels, right? So I've got a channel for this broadcast. I've got a channel for my coaching program. I've got a channel for my my organization. Does that all make sense? And is it important to have all different art, all different styles of thumbnails as well? And do the thumbnails really need to be, I don't know, cool?
Yeah, I mean, they need to be tested. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing the right thing by having different channels for basically different groups of people or different target audience. I agree with that. Your channel art is very, very important. I mean, it's because if someone sees it and they don't like it, they're not going to click on it, right? If it doesn't say what the message is that you're trying to deliver in a couple words, like 800, like one of ours is 800,000 in Frisco, ? Right? Then other ones are like, luxury country life. This is Murphy. And then we have like a face like, like what? Like, it's crazy. So it causes curiosity, right? I mean, curiosity is what sells the most. Is, well, okay, what's on the other side of this video? So your thumbnails are extremely important because nothing else matters if you can't get someone to click on your video.
Okay. So here we are. We're at episode 172. Guess how many episodes I have on my YouTube channel?
172.
Today,
171.
172. So I've got that much. I've been doing video for 14 years or so. So I've got a shit ton of content all over the place. Can I take advantage of the videos that are already there? Can I take advantage of my content from a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago? I think one of my first videos is stupid, but it's funny. It looks how much I didn't know. Right. So I want to repurpose that and reuse that.
Those are the best.
Can I do that? Can I make them better by changing the description, changing the title, right? And building a real thumbnail for it. Can I do it that way?
Absolutely. You need to go back through and you can optimize your videos. And if you're not getting traction, it needs to be optimized. And there's specific tools that we use to be able to optimize all of our content. What's your optimization score, and then looking at all the analytics. I mean, learning how to read the analytics in the back end is going to be extremely important, because if you don't learn, you can't earn, right? You're not going to be able to grow into where you want to actually be. So yes, you can go back in there and you can optimize, but don't delete your videos. Like, leave the videos. Like, people who go in and delete videos and all that stuff, it completely ruins their channel. So you don't want to delete them. You can optimize your videos, and you can change descriptions, and you can change everything that you want. But don't delete the videos, or just don't delete the videos.
So I can go in, change thumbnails, change the SEO, change the description, everything, and it's going to help me. The other thing I learned today, thank you, Coach, is that I want to take out or not have any links in there that's going to take me away from YouTube. Something we learned from Facebook a long time ago, where if you put a YouTube link on it, not many people are going to see it.
Exactly.
Right? Because they just say, YouTube's our competition. Screw them. We're not going to let you use that. So put it up if you want. Yep. But there have been tricks that I've known that have worked. But, I'm not worried about teaching people tricks. I've been talking about people doing things that will get me what I needed to get me. So one last question about my questions is, can I hire somebody to do that copywriting? Can I hire someone that understands that when they look at the video, what the thumbnail should be, what the copywriting should be, what the description should be, what the title should be? Is there a service out there? Because I'm asking you because I know a lot of people are going to say the same thing, right? Is there a service out there that can support that and help one do that isn't going to make you go broke?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you have to do that stuff at the beginning until you make money. But we make, I mean, like I said, we've made $900,000 in commissions. Okay, and we're now. I mean, it wasn't like that at the very beginning. We had to do everything ourselves. We had to write that. But now that we're making money and we're closing deals and everything's good, we're offloading everything. We literally just hired a copywriting coach literally yesterday, $25,000. You know what I'm saying? So, but they are going to do our copywriting on our landing pages, on our funnels. They're going to do it on whatever we want. They're going to do all of our email follow-ups for building our team, because we're providing so much value to people. They're opting in. They're wanting to learn about YouTube. We want to make sure that we don't have time to do that because we're so busy. Everyone needs to focus on their HLAs, their highest leverage activities.
Yep.
I'm not mowing my yard because I'm worth X amount of dollars an hour. So I'm not mowing my yard because that's $30 an hour. So I'm going to pay someone to do that. I'm going to pay someone to clean my house. I'm going to pay someone to do the copywriting because I know that I can go, and we're making over 6 figures a month right now. So I know that I can go out, build everything, scale everything. And, there are cheap options, but I feel like, and look, I've been ripped off before. I've spent a lot of money and got no return. You know what I'm saying? So I know that's possible, but a lot of times you get what you pay for. But you can easily go and find a copywriter. You can go and find someone who does thumbnails. You can find anyone to do anything. You got to be resourceful. And if you're a realtor, if you're not writing contracts and showing homes, you're not getting paid. So that's what you got to really, really focus on is doing those high leverage activities. And like we talked about, structure, right? Very, very strict structure on filming. Because I think maybe some people are wondering, well, Travis, if I'm busy selling real estate, when do I have time to record? You have to make that time. No realtor is that busy. I promise you. Most people are not going to be busier than me. We're recording, we're building content, we're growing our team, we're creating courses, we're traveling, we're speaking. I'm doing about 10, 12, 13 deals a month right now. Like, I got 2 kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, trust me, I know what busy looks like, but if you're very structured in your discipline, your daily habits, set aside 2 hours to do one video and then batch record. Make a plan. Right? Make a plan for what you're going to do, because if you're a realtor right now and you're thinking, man, I got to get my YouTube channel started like right now, you need to make a plan, right? And you need a batch record. So keep doing what you're doing. However you're getting your business, never stop that. Keep doing that, but make a plan. And then maybe you record, like we recorded for 30 days. Every single day we would do multiple cities. So we recorded so much content that we were like 30, 45 days ahead. So you want to make sure you're posting 2 to 3 videos a week consistently. So batch record, right? Put a month to where you have 4 hours in the morning or in the evening where you try to record as much as you can. Batch record that, because you have to be consistent. If you do 3 videos this week and then 2 videos a month from now, it's going to screw everything up. It's not going to have really quick traction. So you got to be disciplined in your time. Make time to do that recording. Edit it. Editing is not that hard. You don't have to edit like you see Casey Neistat and some of these big players. They have full editing teams that are doing all this stuff. It doesn't have to be like that at the beginning. We got people, reaching out to us before we had any of that stuff. They were still reaching out to us because they liked us, and we had those call to actions. And so that's really the thing. You can do this with no money. As you start making money, reinvest that money back into your business. I'm not just pocketing all this money. I'm taking it and we're dumping this into our business again to get better copywriters, to get better editors. We just hired a full-time videographer. We're going to pay him 10 grand a month to do a luxury channel with us for a year. So we are taking all that money, investing it. And so next year is going to be even better. Like we will probably hit 45 million this year, or 40 million, let's just say. That's $1.2 million. We will make over $1.2 million in commissions this year. Next year, I mean, we could hit 100 million because we're going to have a luxury channel. All the stuff with Dallas, because the content is evergreen, it's just going to get more and more and more and more popular. We're going to have more and more people wanting to buy from us. So this is something that when you build it now, you're going to be able to have a real business model, a scalable business model years down the road. If you just take the time to build this stuff out right now, I'm telling you, if you stay consistent for a year of content, you may never, ever have to post content again because it has so much traction.
Yeah. And I want to point the most important thing out. You started learning. You started somewhere. The only reason you're able to hire people and to actually fire yourself from things that you were doing is because your business has improved. We're going to start at 0 and we're going to go up to 60, right? And that's exactly what you're starting at 0 and going all the way up.
Yep.
Start at 0, spend, learn it yourself. This way you actually understand and are able to hire the right people later on. Would you agree with that?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we want to be able to do is make sure that understand that, Travis and Levi did not start out by hiring people. They learned it. They masterminded it. They talked about it. They planned it. They did 30 days before they launched. Now I know that you guys have at least 3 weeks of content all scheduled out and you're batching your content. You yourself, you do a couple hours on a Monday or whatever, getting stuff ready to go. So everybody needs to understand the most important thing that you have said, everything's important. What we talked about was schedule. Block it out. Make sure you do that work and don't let anything get in your way. Hey, man, this has been absolutely amazing. I have learned so much. I know that I'm going to be utilizing your services as far as the coaching and stuff, because I know that I need to do this. And that's, I know an awful lot of people all over the country that are doing this and other types of marketing. And I only talk to the best. I can rattle them up, but I'm not going to do that. This is your time. How do people get in touch with you? How do people find you so that they can talk to you about what you're doing? Or if they are looking to move to Dallas, Texas area?
Well, if you're looking to move to Dallas, Texas, just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. You can reach out that way. My cell phone number is right here on the screen. So I guess if you're watching this looking to buy, just shoot me a text, give me a call. Now, if you're a real estate agent and you're looking to be able to, YouTube channel, build a brand, and be able to make, 6 figures or 7 figures, learning how to do YouTube without spending any advertising or door knocking, go to therealagents.com and hop on a strategy call with us. It's absolutely free. We even are happy to give you everything that we have for free as well. So if you're curious about how that works, man, just give me a call, shoot me a text, go to our website. We're happy to help you out. If you already have a YouTube channel and it's just not growing and you're not getting business from it, it's not optimized, go to therealagents.com and book some time with me and Levi. We will hop on there. We will help you optimize your channel. We'll help give you enough value to where you can at least get the ball rolling and get it going in the right direction.
That's awesome, man. Hey, look, how do people? Okay, so actually, people can get in touch with you that way. We only have one thing to do. Look, I know you're really busy, and we had to change the time today because of a couple appointments you had scheduled. But I know the other reason you came on is because you wanted to get
I want the hat.
The famous real estate skill builder hats.
I want the hat, bro.
You got it, man. You got it. It's coming out. It'll be out in the next few days.
I'll get you a Real Agents hat.
Awesome. Great. I love it. I love it. I love it. So here's the deal, man. I want to thank you so much for coming on today. I really do. I mean, it's been a great thing. It's something that it always helps that I'm really into it and I need to learn more. So it's just like shit. Everything that we talked about, we went down 1, 2, 3, 4. We went down great. It was awesome. Travis, thank you so much. Stay on for a minute. We're going to go out. Hey, everybody, thanks so much. We're back next week with the #1 New Jersey real estate RE/MAX agent, Chris Walsh, who's going to talk about how to use your circle of influence and also how to have special people in that database. So Chris is going to be here next week. Can't wait. It's going to be super cool. Where'd my cursor go? There it is. So we got Chris coming next week. Hey, Travis, thanks so much. And we're going to see everybody soon. What?